I told you I would give you the most disappointing player in the NFL to this point. And to me, there isn't any question who it is, at least for me. Over the summer, I remember on Get Up saying in July, we all did, when it became clear the NFL was going to start opening the training camps and they were going to come back. We started doing NFL preview then. There were no other games going on. So we were just going through all of the different things we could with the National Football League because everyone else was paused. And I remember we all named who we thought was going to be the MVP of the league. And I threw the name Carson Wentz into the mix because that's the player that I really thought had turned the corner last year. I thought the questions about him were about his leadership, his ability to lift everybody around him. And at the end of last year, with all the injuries the Eagles had, I really thought he did it. I really thought he put that team on his back and on his shoulders and was ready to finally transform that extraordinary talent into the finished product that we have so long thought he could become. And instead, frankly, he's been bad, flat bad. He's had a handful of decent games. But I want to read you the numbers on Carson Wentz and compare them to a quarterback last year who, through his first 8 games, lost his job. The numbers I'm going to give you right now are Jameis Winston last year versus Carson Wentz this year, through 8 games each. Jameis Winston had 16 turnovers through 8 games. Carson Wentz has 16 turnovers. Jameis Winston had been sacked 30 times. Wentz has been sacked 32 times. Winston was completing 59% of his passes. Wentz, 58. Jameis Winston had a QBR of 50.9. Wentz, 50.2. All of the numbers on Winston were slightly better. Now, I can already hear you yelling at me. Yes, I understand Jameis Winston had a lot more talent around him. But we're talking about Jameis Winston. The guy hasn't started a game this year. He couldn't get a starting job in the National Football League off of those numbers. Carson Wentz has a $100 million contract, and people still talk about him like he's a franchise quarterback. He needs to put that team on his shoulders. He's playing in the worst division ever. It has been a very disappointing first half of the season for Carson Wentz. We'll see if he is able to change that around. By the way, I mentioned the terrible division that he's in. It's a little packet of statistics that my buddy Hembo threw together for me. And I had mentioned this yesterday, but this really puts it into context. In the 3 games the Dallas Cowboys have played since Dak Prescott got hurt, they've had 32 offensive drives, and they have scored 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown in 32 offensive drives. And again, it came when they were down 31-3 in the final 3 minutes of a game against Arizona. They've just been horrendous. And I'm looking at my buddy Bubba as I say that, because Bubba is a Cowboy fan, and we were all just laughing during the break. It's Bubba, Nuno, and me who are in here today. Bubba is a Cowboy fan, Nuno is a Giant fan, and I'm a Jet fan. Our teams stink. Like the 3 of us are sitting here and we were just bemoaning how awful. You realize, Bubba, that people are talking about the Cowboys like they're the worst team ever, and you have more wins than Nuno's team and my team combined. Nuno and I our teams combined have won 1 game. At least yours has won 2.
Yeah, I mean, at least when I'm thinking about it, it's never going to be as bad as the Giants or the Jets. So at least I have that going for me.
It's correct. It is.
And it's bad. I mean, the Cowboys are awful. But it's not as bad as the Giants and the Jets.
Here's the thing. You had expectations. Like, people were picking the Cowboys to win the division.
Right.
People were picking the Cowboys to go deep in the playoffs. No one thought the Giants would be any good. No one thought the Jets would be any good. So would you say that your level of disappointment is greater than Nuno's and mine, despite the fact that your team is actually marginally better?
I mean, it's so tough to say because once Dak got hurt, I mean, the whole season just went to hell. So I mean, obviously they weren't really playing too well. All right, calm down. They weren't really playing too well before that, but still, clearly Dak was having a great season, so there was still some hope. But once he went down, it's over.
Put that on the hashtag Greeny social media feed, although we don't have one. We just use mine, which is at ESPN Greeny. I'm posting that. Bubba, quote, once Dak went down, the whole season went to hell. And that's pretty much exactly right. There have been 32 offensive drives since then, and they have scored 1 touchdown.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.